Let's start with your reading, Cancer. Today, we are going to look into your recent past, current energies, and near future. And then we will immediately clarify in order to find out more details about your messages. Now, let's begin right away with your reading. Okay. The main energy for the reading today is the Nine of Swords, and I can really feel the heaviness of this card. There is something here, Cancer, that the more you think about, the more confused it makes you, and the more out of control it makes you feel as well. When the Nine of Swords comes up as the main energy, it makes it clear that this is something that consumes a lot of your energy and something that, in a way, changed you. And you might not be very happy of that change, that transformation. You might look back at certain things you've done for this person, for this situation, certain things you've said, and you might think to yourself, who is that person? That cannot be me, no way. There's a lot to unpack here, Cancer. So let's see what this message is about. In the recent past, we have Queen of Cups and Nine of Swords. Actually, sorry, Nine of Wands. Another nine here. Nine of Wands. Definitely connecting with the nine main energy. We see how hard you worked at this. Way more than you should have. This is something you tried hard to make work, but it just didn't. You tried and tried, but it feels like the more you tried, the farther it got. Your intuition was definitely trying to speak to you with this Queen of Cups over here times and times again, but you did take action against it, not wanting for it to be right. We'll come back to this message to see what happened back then, what happened with the other person, and also what are the mistakes to not repeat in the present and in the future as well. In the current energies, we have the King of Wands and the Five of Cups. What the situation left behind is mostly a sense of rejection. Feeling as though when you really care about someone, they often slip away from your hands with very little you can do about it. And here's the thing, you really shouldn't do anything about it, honestly. If someone is already putting themselves in a position in which you have to hold on to them in order for them to stick around, Cancer, don't hold them. Push them out of the door, and make sure to lock that door. Why would you do this to yourself? But also, something is starting to happen. Something is starting to transform in the present. And it might not be obvious yet, but it is happening. We'll come back to this when we clarify. In the near future, Eight of Wands and Judgment, definitely messages here. But overall, there is a big moment of understanding. A moment in which something is going to happen, going to come in, or just something will become very clear within you. And it will make you look at everything with fresh new eyes. This really seems to be a very powerful moment. We'll see what it's going to be, but the most important thing we see already so far is that it's finally going to take you out of this rut, of this situation in which you have been feeling stuck for a while now. Again, we'll see what this is going to be and where also it's going to take you next. So let's start clarifying, and let's begin with your recent past. Five of Wands, the Chariot, and Nine of Pentacles. You know, Knight of Cups as well. I see you here at times being very very strong, very determined with this chariot energy, and also very sure of the fact that you cannot be the only one fighting for this. But then these moments of strength would be followed by moments of weakness in which you end up maybe sending messages without receiving a proper reply, if any reply at all. We see here the Five of Wands that you're really fighting against yourself, fighting against your intuition. A lot of times you opened up your heart to this person, to this situation, and they were just sitting there listening, if they were listening in the first place. There is definitely a lot of imbalance here. Someone who was opening their heart with the Knight of Cups as well here, and someone instead who was just focused on their own independency, their own things overall here. And this is not even the worst thing about the situation. It happens in relationships that at some point things go unbalanced. But what's not okay, it's how perhaps at first you try to ignore this, working against your intuition, as we were saying, trying to force an outcome that you had in your mind and that you really wanted to happen. But don't forget, never forget, that love should actually be somewhat easy. It should be an addition to your life, not just work and stress and struggle. If someone acts like they don't care, do yourself a favor and believe them and move on, because there is always something better for you around the corner. So let's see what's going on in the present. Let's clarify the current energies. Eight of Cups, Ace of Cups, Nine of Cups with the Page of Wands. First of all, I see that one of the reasons why you have accepted more than you should have, one of the reasons why you didn't listen to your intuition, it's because of fear of being alone. But one important thing to understand is that when you keep surrounding yourself with people just not to be alone, the type of people you surround yourself with end up making you feeling alone anyway. And that's when you lose control, or at least when you feel like you're losing control. We are always in control, even when we think we're not. And you need to see that sooner or later so that you can finally understand how you, and only you, have the power to always change it all around. Now, I do see the other person starting to move, starting to do something here, but they're doing it very, very slowly. And it will take a while before it will actually appear as a clear move, if that makes sense. There is something that it's starting now, Ace of Cups, a new little energy that is entering the situation, but it will manifest Nine of Cups in the future. We see this progression right here, and we'll see if maybe more details about it come up in the near future energy. So let's clarify the Eight of Wands in Judgment, and let's see what's coming up. Ten of Pentacles with Justice. I'm loving this already. Ten of Wands and that Page of Wands again with the Queen of Pentacles. This is a beautiful message, Cancer. What I see here is that for the longest time, you thought that these people were not falling in love with you or were not sticking around because you were not good enough. And right here, we see that something is happening that will immediately make you think, hold on, it's not that I am not good enough for them, it's that they are not good enough for me. And the universe is just placing me in a position to see that clearly. I have been ignoring it so far, but you know what? Not anymore. Ten of Pentacles and Justice. Right here, you really see that you have it all. That you are not wrong and that you shouldn't feel like you're lacking something. And it's very important to feel that way in order to make the right decisions for yourself, for your present, and for your future. I can't help but feeling with these cards that a message is coming in. This Page of Wands wanting to come in twice, something from that person, but it will be so underwhelming that all of a sudden it's going to put everything in perspective for you. You've dreamed about this moment, waited for the moment in which the two of you would reconnect, talk, but this is going to be so little underwhelming, such a turnoff, that it's going to make you see how much better this person is when you fantasize about them. Whereas instead, when you see the reality of things with them, it's always very underwhelming. And maybe it was like that in the past as well. But back then you decided to ignore it. So Cancer, what I see so far is that clarity is coming your way. This person reaches out, does something, and instead of being that new beginning with them that you were hoping for, it's more likely going to be a new beginning for yourself. Now, let's look more into this incoming energy to understand what this is actually going to be. Let's see what they come in with and how the situation will evolve afterwards. Let's also see how this will impact your own journey in the future and where this new trajectory is going to take you in the next few months and a year from now as well. There's a lot more to come after this judgment energy, so let's keep looking into it. If you want to dive deeper into the messages with me, Cancer, just follow me in the extended reading link below in the description box. Also, don't forget that every single week, I randomly select viewers who have watched the extended video to offer them a 100% free, personal, live, 45-minute reading. I send out emails every Monday morning. Make sure to check out your spam folder as well. Now, stay tuned for the extended preview coming right up after this. Welcome back to your extended reading, Cancer. The bridging energy taking us from this current situation to the incoming events is the High Priestess. Your intuition is speaking to you again, sending you messages left and right. And it's doing so for a very specific reason. Do not underestimate what's about to happen over here, because the more we look into it, the more it seems to be a very important, pivotal moment for you. There is still a lot of hidden energy at first because, the High Priestess is a very secretive energy, but at the same time, a lot of moving pieces underneath the surface. What is all of this about? You overall seem to have this superhero power now with which anyone who comes in or anything that comes in, you'll be able to quickly figure out what it's going to be about. And trust me when I say that this is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of struggle as well. Speaking of transformations, speaking of new beginnings, something is cooking for you, Cancer. Let's see what this is going to be about. First of all, let's clarify the High Priestess to see what these incoming messages are that you're not going to ignore right now. Strength, 7 of Wands, and oh my God, look at all these messages coming towards you. Some of them are from your intuition, but some other are from this person. And they are saying something very specific that at first maybe it will sound small, but if you read them between the lines, just like the High Priestess does, you'll see a world of information behind it. And some of them will actually surprise you. First of all, we see this.